Deep in the silent, chilly depths of the Northwoods, a ghost is waiting. People call it the northern pike, but around here, anglers know it by a much darker name, the water wolf. This is one of the most ruthless killers in the aquatic world, driven by a terrifying cannibalistic instinct. Here's the thing, about 20% of a young pike's daily diet is actually its own kind, and it doesn't stop there. These things will attack anything that moves. Imagine a creature that can grow over 4 feet long, roughly the size of a 7-year-old child, but with the explosive power of a sniper's bullet. Its long, slender body is built perfectly for the ambush. It can go from a dead standstill to top speed in a split second. But its scariest weapon? A mouth lined with hundreds of teeth as sharp as broken glass. They all point backward, making sure that once a prey is hit, the chance of escape is exactly 0. But if you want to take down this assassin in the real world, you're going to need a lot more than a standard fishing rod. The real heart of the Northwoods is the individual struggle. The nets were cast, and then a few hours passed. The first fish were caught in the nets. Meanwhile, on the big lakes between Minnesota and Canada, meet Mark. He's been fishing these waters for over 15 years. Today, he's hunting a slough shark hiding 15 feet down in the weeds. He's running a steel leader because a pike's teeth are so sharp they'll slice through heavy-duty braided line in a single chomp. There, the water explodes, the giant is hooked, and the duel is officially on. This is the moment where things get sketchy. The pike is thrashing violently, pinning Mark's rod into a deep arch. This isn't just fishing, it's a total power struggle. One tiny mistake and that hook comes flying back at your face, or those teeth end up in your hand. After 20 minutes of white-knuckle fighting, Mark finally slides a 40-inch beast into the net. It's a massive emotional win. But now he faces a much tougher problem. Catching it is one thing, but how do you handle this bony landmine to turn it into a million-dollar feast?
And then run my knife all the way down. So now I have that.
To crack the code of this bony fish, he's using the legendary 5-cut technique. It's an old Northwoods secret for pulling pure white meat out of a maze of Y bones. That thin, razor-sharp fillet knife starts sliding right down the spine. Every precise cut stays tight against the pin bones. Mark is basically performing surgery here to pull out the backstrap, the prize.
And make my second cut on the other side of these bones.
Listen to the blade hit those tiny ribs. It's like a symphony of precision.
Gliding my knife and scooping out all these Y bones right here.
There's zero waste here. Everything from the small scraps to the massive fillets is handled with total respect.
Okay, so this.
When that final cut is done, you're left with translucent, pure meat, ready for even the pickiest eaters.
Okay, and take the meat right off the skin.
The monster has officially been transformed into culinary art. Welcome to the shore lunch. It's the ultimate North American fishing tradition. Right here by the lake, gets the fire going and preps a heavy cast iron skillet with hot oil. Those fillets get tossed in cornmeal and dropped into the heat.
That's working out just fine. Nice.
The secret is the temperature. High heat softens any tiny Y bones left behind, turning the fish as crispy as a cracker.
Fry these fillets in oil when you're using this technique to properly soften the bone. I don't think if you just cook the leg. This one here is looking done. They're all looking good, actually. That one little fish, I think, could feed 3 people. It's going to be a feast for 2.
Mark breaks a piece open. Steam rises, smelling light and fresh. It's bone-free, meaty, and incredibly sweet. Next to the fried fish are some delicate fish cakes made from the leftovers. It's a smart way to make sure none of this 1-meter pike goes to waste. A single fish, but it's enough for a massive feast for 3 grown men. From a mean water wolf at the bottom of the lake to a golden plate on the table. Pike proves one thing: there are no bad fish, just people who aren't patient enough to handle them. So, are you ready to grab a rod and face this giant on your next trip? Total silence settles over the prep station. First, we pat the skin dry. It's a simple step, but it's critical for stripping away every last impurity. Then, the razor-sharp Yanagiba blade takes over with surgical precision. Gills out, head removed. Next comes a smooth glide right along the spine to pull away 2 gorgeous fillets. Every stroke of the knife stays tight against the bone, trimming away the bloodline to keep only the cleanest, pearly pink meat. One steady pull zips the silver skin right off. Then, the last of the pin bones are plucked out with specialized pliers and total focus. Looking at this pristine white marble of a fish, you'd think it was destined for high-end sashimi. Right here, right now. But today, the Japanese have a much bolder plan for this world-class ingredient. We're stepping back in time to the 16th century. It was an era where Japanese tradition met Portuguese trade, giving birth to a summer masterpiece, aji nanbanzuke. These thick cuts of Shima-aji, the result of a strict, high-end farming process, are dusted in a thin layer of flour and fried until golden. Right alongside them, eggplant, red bell peppers, and fresh okra. The second they hit the rack, a special marinade of dashi, soy sauce, vinegar, and mirin is poured directly over the top while everything is still piping hot. But here's the thing. The secret to this dish is patience. You don't eat it right away. It has to be chilled completely in the fridge for 1 to 3 days. That time allows the tangy sauce and deep umami to soak through the crispy exterior, reaching deep into that juicy white meat. This isn't just a way to beat the heat. It's proof of how the Japanese take global influences and turn them into a symbol of refined home cooking. We've traveled from the quiet art of the blade to the full symphony of summer flavors. But behind this elegance, the ocean still hides a much more brutal side. Massive harvest operations are happening right now on a scale you'd have to see to believe. Click the screen so you don't miss our journey into those rough waters in the next episode. Deep in the murky shadows of the legendary Mekong River lives a creature straight out of the Jurassic era. They call them the lungless marathon runners. They have enough oxygen to travel thousands of kilometers against the strong current. Now, you might think a Mekong giant catfish, tipping the scales at 646 pounds, would be packed with razor-sharp teeth. But here's the kicker. This behemoth is totally toothless. It's a complete vegetarian, living off nothing but algae and river plants. Imagine a fish as heavy as a North American grizzly bear with the fastest growth rate on the planet, from a tiny fry to a massive river monster in just 6 years. But getting one of these giants onto the bank? That's a life or death struggle that can drag on for hours. When heavy-duty rod bends into a perfect 90-degree angle. Under the surface, a monster is fighting back. That sound, that's the screech of the fishing line cutting through the air. This isn't just fishing, it's a full-blown war that burns as many calories as running a marathon. Watch the tail. That's the golden rule. Even from the shore, one massive slap near the water's edge can yank a grown man and his gear straight into the depths. After 4 hours of a suffocating tug-of-war, the giant finally gives in. The crowd erupts. Landing this massive wall of muscle is a once-in-a-lifetime achievement, but the real work is just getting started. This is where the knives do the talking. The real magic happens when those thick-cut steaks hit a screaming hot cast iron skillet. Natural fats render out, swirling together with melting butter and the earthy aroma of bay leaves. A fresh squeeze of lemon wakes up the palate. It's the perfect balance for the legendary richness of this oil-heavy fish. When you take a bite, the texture is mind-blowing. It's not flaky like your typical fish. It's got a slight chew, almost like a high-end beefsteak, but it melts on your tongue like Wagyu butter. A single serving can go for $150. But for a river-to-table experience like this, for a real foodie, it's priceless. So would you be brave enough to try a piece of the world's biggest catfish? Let me know in the comments. Meet the armored tank of the river. 3 knives, 3 missions. First, the heavy blade. Real force is the only way through these bone plates.
Just kind of like cutting a chicken wing or a chicken leg where you find
Next, the medium knife, a clean butterfly cut, peeling meat from the ribs. Just stay clear of that central cartilage.
All the way underneath, and all the way to the top. I don't pass that center. Go down in the middle, all the way down underneath the belly to where the two cuts on bottom meet up of that vertebrae, and I'm going to score it just straight down. I'm just applying pressure on the knife straight down, all the way down to the tail of that. Straight down. Remember, always use a cut go out in the opposite hand. Notice I'm applying pressure with the back of the knife here. All the way down. This is where having a little bit of a stiffer knife helps out. Push down, break those ribs, go straight down. All the way to the back.
Guts out. Fatty belly tossed. Only the cleanest cuts remain. Finally, the flexible blade. We glide under that 3-centimeter sandpaper skin and strip away the bloodline.
For lack of a better term, gross. I don't know any other way to put it. You can tell there's a scoot in the way. When you cut those scoots off, make sure you get them.
No fishiness allowed. Pristine, firm, pure white jade.
Sometimes I turn the knife if I missed a section. Here. But I'm going to remove the flesh from the skin.
But how does Chef Josh Feathers turn this rugged protein into a masterpiece? The goal: turn this wall of muscle into a light summer symphony. Step 1, lock in the moisture. The fish gets a dip in an ice-cold salt brine to firm up the texture before being coated in a vibrant herb crust: parsley, chives, and basil. It rests for 1 hour. While those flavors are soaking in, yellow squash goes into the oven at 375 degrees Fahrenheit. Once it's tender, we blend it into a silk-smooth puree that serves as the foundation for the plate. Then, the star of the show. The sturgeon goes into a low and slow roast at 250 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 minutes. This is the secret. It cooks the fish perfectly, even without drying it out, keeping that signature meaty chew. We finish the dish with a bright tomato and garlic salsa, spiked with a splash of sherry vinegar to wake up the palate. One bite and you'll get it. Tender sturgeon, fragrant herbs, creamy squash, and that zesty salsa. This is the definition of high-end dining. Then the steam. Just clean, bite-sized cuts topped with ginger and scallions. When that steam hits, the aroma of the ginger and onion wakes everything up. If the sashimi is a symphony of the ocean, the steamed dish is the quiet peace of the earth.